Hello everyone, my name is Faraz Jackson. I'm here to talk about my feasible analysis of direct access and physical therapy by yours truly. This applies to anybody that wants to be a physical therapist or wants to be assistant of a physical therapist. So let's get started. Let's talk about first, what is direct access to physical therapy? Direct access means for patients is an option for evaluations and treatments done by a physical therapist without a physician referral. This is allowed in every state, including the District of Columbia, as well as the United States of the Virgin Islands, where they allow some form of direct access to physical therapy in those states. The problem with direct access is that there are some limitations and restrictions that are limited in some states. These restrictions rely on visit limits, previous diagnostic requirements, and limited patient population that reside as one of the restrictions in some states. Here's a map that has direct access to physical therapy without the necessary need for a physician referral. In some states you have unlimited direct access, time limited direct access, and also some don't have direct access at all. So, and like here, Florida, we have 21 days to see a physical therapist, or we have to sign a physician referral to be recommended by a physical therapist. Now, back in 2015, there was a study, a practice recommended by the APTA, which it means American Physical Therapists Association. And they established a study where to improve on the alternative option for direct access all around the world. Some of these key things that they recommended in the practice was to develop more collaborative relationships with other healthcare professionals, along with physical therapists being more responsible for all clinical decisions upon physical therapy care in the regards of the patient. So those were the key elements in this practice to ensure the improvement of the physical therapy services. Fast forward to their employment outlook, which was in demand of physical therapy in the year of 2016, which their expectancy rate was to go up to 28% in the year 2016 up until the year 2026, which is a very huge gap for a physical therapist to work on patients without a physician referral. Now, let's look into the educational skills and people skills that's a requirement for a physical therapist to even be recommended by a patient for direct access. Educational skills will have to go with science skills. Science skills are recommended for any up-and-coming physical therapist to require certain things like anatomy, psychology, biology, and chemistry. That's just for the 4-year degree, which is the bachelor's. You also need in some cases you need biomechanicals and statistics and math to even go for a postgraduate, which is doctor's graduate program. Other skills rely in the motor skills, which involves guidance, strength, and coordination with the patient, as well as interpersonal skills, which requires uh, instructions and instructions, strong listener, and an effective communicator. As for observational skills, you have to be attentive, multitasking around, moving your feet around with the patient, and as well as focus on details with the patient with certain areas of their body. The advantages and disadvantages with direct access comes from basically the patient being having less visits, as well as faster recovery time, and they have inexpensive funds with medical care, because the physical therapist will take care of the medical bills and recommendations that they need for evaluations and treatment, as far as them getting back on their feet, and their day-to-day jobs won't be affected, be a faster recovery time. That's all well and good for the patient, but the physical therapist, they will have more control of what the routine they need to go through, or work up a routine for the patient to get them back into shape, as far as the disadvantages go, you have the National Association of Advancement of Orthosis and Prosthesis, which in layman terms is, orthosis is items that support, align people to help them with moving back and forth with like an item, like a cane or a walker, to help them get them moving. Prosthesis is basically things that they replace in certain body parts. So that can be like a prosthetic leg, a prosthetic arm. Those are the technologies they will use to replace those things that you don't have for that person. Basically that association requires a physician referral, because they, in their terms, they are well equipped with having access to education and training, and with orthosis and prosthesis services and technology. So in conclusion, the solutions that I would go with for a patient that doesn't have direct access or has limited access to direct access for physical therapy is to go visit the National Conference of Legislature, look up the name and the address of your state lawmaker, and write them a letter stating that you want to reform the direct access to physical therapy to be reformed in your state. So, in closing statement, there might be in the future a better situation with direct access. As you can see, it's growing in a very fast rate. 28% is very great start. But I think that with the solutions that I just said, can possibly eliminate these limitations that are holding free direct access to all states. So thank you for watching, and have a good day.